Now boarding for Rebuild of Joycast, your weekly destination for anime, manga, and more.
I am back on the train and a little bit scared because I don't know where we're going.
The Hogwarts Express? No, I'm joking.
Oh, please, no.
No,
Anywhere
please.
but there.
Please, even the audience does not want to hear us. We got comments that people do not want to hear about Hogwarts anymore, and I am in firm agreement.
It exists. Get over it.
Exactly.
Whatever.
But
It's a
yeah,
real
so
place. Deal with it.
here's the topic starter. We completely forgot about the Crunchyroll Anime Awards
We
this
sure
year.
did.
Absolutely forgot.
Because,
we blinked and we missed.
Because they're a sham. They're a fraud. I don't accept this government as legitimate.
Okay, here's the thing. Okay, so Val and I have discussed this before. We mean this in the most endearing way, that we think the Crunchyroll Anime Awards are cringe as fuck.
They are. They're very
but
cringe.
very entertaining in that way. Like it's a train wreck that it's a mutual train. Even Crunchyroll is excited to see how they flub it every year.
It's disrespectful. It is a disrespectful sham.
It's a tax deduction.
Boo.
I know that the JoJo stands are absolutely livid that Part 6 didn't win anything this year.
Like it was going to. Oh my god, it went so quietly.
Like,
But we'll get there.
It was... I kind of think JoJo is, like, kind of done anime-wise.
Yes, I think they're done too. But like,
I don't even think it's because Netflix killed it. I think it's just that it's a franchise, anime-wise at least, that's been going on for 10 years now. Most of the
Natural
diehard
10.
fans... I mean,
natural lifespan of things.
yeah, but
It's still
granted,
good. It's still
though,
popular. It's just not gonna be at the peak that it once was, unless there's like a fucking revolution in the medium. And
Yeah.
I don't see JoJo Lands being a revolution.
unless Part 7, the anime, or whatever the hell they're gonna do with it, is, like, has the absolute royalty treatment or something.
And yeah,
and is
like a
considered
revolution. Like they have to really go hard on it. Like they have to pull a Orange Studio and go full CG, or no one's gonna pay attention.
Just my opinion, but I do think that story-wise, at least, Part 7 will, like, pop the fuck off.
I think so,
in the
too.
anime. Especially if they make the improvements that they did to certain things, like they did in Part 5, better context about certain situations and everything. It'll be golden. It'll be absolutely golden.
Going back to the Crunchyroll Anime Awards, like again, like this is not a thing that's taken very seriously, even by Crunchyroll.
Well, thank goodness.
But now, since the merger, the Funimation side of Crunchy, the Sony operated side of Crunchyroll, wants to take this seriously now. And that's just not how this works, Funimation.
Take it seriously by what stretch of the imagination? Because
Like they want to be the Oscars of anime. And so I took a peek. They kept a recording of this year's ceremonies.
Who even wants to be the Oscars anymore? No
Exactly.
one watches
Again,
the fucking Oscars.
Funimation does because again they're fucking weirdos.
Funimation is just using this to try and give merch boost to their most valuable properties.
Yeah,
Let's
no,
just
I'm
say
getting
it.
there.
I'm so
I am
into this
getting there.
shit.
This is the foreplay. I'm getting there. So they went to Tokyo this year, and they had a big fancy dinner. They're trying to pull like a Screen Actors Guild Awards or a Golden Globes, where it's a big dinner and everyone's there, and they're giving awards. It looked cheap as fuck. It was like the most like high-key, low-key event, low-key, high-key event. It looked cheap. The broadcast was, pun intended, very crunchy. It was like, it looked like this it looked less like the Oscars or a prestigious awards ceremony and more like a sports banquet at the end of your high school year.
Oh my god.
Where they hand out all the awards at
Oh
the
my
end. You have a
God.
cheap fucking pre-made meal. It looked wrong.
Damn.
Like, and the guys who are usually there helping out with the awards, they had like a pre-show, and even they looked really fucking disappointed. Like, they're just like, they weren't having the fun that they usually had. Like, they're not having fun anymore, and that's the problem. Is the Crunchyrolls are supposed to be a cringy, fun, good time.
I guess, but who cares about the show itself?
And they invited all these
animators.
animators and these studios, and that's where you get to the point where you're like, you know what? Funimation co-produces Kaguya-sama. We will react to the winners this podcast. So I'm going to take a spoiler and say that Kaguya-sama won Best Romance, and it's like, is that not collusion considering that they produce Kaguya-sama?
Well, it's not just that. It's like, Kaguya-sama as best romance this season is so silly to me. Like, I love Kaguya-sama.
But all
don't
the
get me wrong,
nominees they had sucked.
But exactly, as best romance, they didn't even put anyone in the game. Like, we talked about this already, but they didn't nominate anyone else that, like, it made sense to nominate. They were just like, Kaguya-sama is the only one in this category that should even be here. So by default,
it's the only one that they produce. Like I said, so that's what I'm getting at. Where it's like,
shit.
This feels like tinfoil conspiracy hat on. They tried to. Crunchyroll wants MAPPA so fucking badly.
What do you mean?
Sony monopolizing the anime industry right now.
Oh,
MAPPA,
that's not a tinfoil hat. That's just a fact.
MAPPA making all the fucking anime right now. Does it not make sense that Sony now merging Funimation and Crunchyroll in the West, they want to buy MAPPA? Do they not?
I mean, I guess.
Did they not have this dinner, this award ceremony, just to get all of MAPPA's animators in one fucking room so they could all fucking talk and shake hands and start honeypotting the fuck out of each other? Sony wants to buy MAPPA. And by proximity, that means Crunchyroll owns MAPPA. That's really fucked up. It's so fucked up and it makes sense.
I don't like that.
No, it's not supposed to be a good thing.
I don't like it.
It's not a good thing.
That's how you fuck an industry. Anytime something's monopolized, you start seeing lower performance across the board in that market.
It's the only
So
way.
sick of
It's
it.
the only way I could see why this fucking why they did the awards the way they did this year. Besides the fact that Funimation wants this to be taken seriously, and they also want to, as is the natural lifespan of a fucking corporation, they want to keep consuming and monopolizing. And now they're starting. They want to start acquiring studios because Crunchyroll Originals didn't work out. So what's the next step? Well, fuck putting an original label on things. Let's just outright buy a studio. Because MAPPA sure as fuck needs more budget right now.
Oh my
You
God.
know they need it. Because they want to keep fucking buying and making things. It's crazy, man.
I mean, that's the dream of any corporation,
Yes.
sadly.
So let's go down the list. I just like it. This awards feels really skeezy this year. This felt like a secret tryst.
Makes me sick.
This was the greasiest I've ever seen these awards go. Everything about it just felt fucking wrong. But the nominees weren't the worst. There's a few we disagree with, and the winners
Strongly.
also not bad. Starting with Anime of the Year, Cyberpunk Edgerunners won it. That's not a bad pick.
Yeah.
That's not a bad pick. Obviously, we want Ranking of Kings or
Yeah.
Licorice Recoil. But what basically, we didn't want Attack on Titan to win. Because it won last year.
You know what? It could have been worse. It could have been worse.
It won last year. So this is great. But Best Original Anime, Licorice Recoil.
Objectively correct.
Objectively correct, considering that the nominees they picked were really fucking weak. And
Although
clearly,
Birdie Wing.
Birdie Wing was
Yeah.
clearly just for the
Still
again.
gotta finish Birdie Wing. But no, Licorice Recoil, it had to take something home. It had to. It was too good not to.
It was such
And I'm
a
glad it
good
was
time.
this.
I know you didn't like it, Val, but like
I still
We know you don't like women.
it was a
Val,
good
but, like-
ass. It was such a good ass time.
Oh my god.
No,
And well
whoa,
produced.
Steena, I'm gonna say this. You've set yourself up there. I don't like girls. I fucking love women.
You don't like
That's
girls?
the problem here. I don't
You
like
think girls
girls.
smell?
I like
Is that what
women.
You're saying, Val?
You think they got cooties?
Yes.
You think that girls are from Jupiter?
I have
Or
voiced
whatever.
my opinions on why Licorice
I
Recoil
know you don't
doesn't
like
really appeal
Moe,
to me.
and I get it, but it's like
It's
Val,
not Moe,
I was saying
but-
Val,
It's pretty fucking
Val, it's
Moe.
not Moe. This has been anime for the past 20 years post fucking K-On.
Yeah. I was gonna
Yeah, and
say.
why do you think why do you think I'm going back to like fucking old stuff
It's
still?
action.
I'm still watching like frickin' what did I recommend you, Steena? What is it? Sorry, I'm having like a brain fart moment now.
Okay.
What the fuck?
Huh?
It's
Huh?
giant robot night visions of Escaflone, which you would fucking love.
Giant robots? Are you sure?
It's about a girl who gets transported to a planet where there's like knights and monsters, elves and stuff, and the main character pilots a giant ancient mech that turns into a dragon, but its like robot form is like a giant medieval
It
knight.
sounds like Shoujo Mech.
And people have it's JoJo's fucking like there's like psychic powers and dragons. It's cool
It's
as fuck. I would really
entry-level
recommend
mech
you
for
watch
me,
it.
For my girly ass. I like it. Okay.
Look, I'm gonna post a picture of it.
I'll
I'm gonna post a picture of it in the chat, and you tell me whether or not this like doesn't absolutely look like something you would just fall in love with.
Oh yeah, for those of you that are, not me right now in the chat, this looks like Revolutionary Girl Utena with robots.
Doesn't Revolutionary Girl Utena does have robots, doesn't it?
Does it?
Isn't there like a car mech
Don't
thing?
ask me, I haven't
Well,
seen
I'm
it.
sure that at some point robots come into play because it's a like late 80s,
Insane
early 90s
acid
anime,
trip.
and it's crazy.
And it's an
But-
acid trip.
I haven't finished that series yet, believe it or not. I'm only about halfway
It
in,
seems-
so
It's crazy.
don't get me wrong.
To the point
like-
where I'm like, I wouldn't even. It's to the point where I wouldn't even recommend it or anything. It gets so crazy.
What,
But
Revolutionary
like,
Girl
keep
Utena?
up. Yes.
Fuck off! I would totally recommend it. This is a
No,
classic
it goes
shoujo.
no. It goes off the fucking rails to the nth degree,
Don't
Steena.
listen
You
to
will
him,
see.
man. He's not a connoisseur. Trust me, this is one of the best shoujo has to offer, but we're way off topic.
We're going to the next
Still,
category.
give that a try.
I will.
Give that
I
a
will.
fucking try.
Best anime character design. We already bitched about this when we were discussing the nominees a few episodes back. Where like all of these are adaptive designs, and Demon Slayer won. Like
Ew.
these are adaptive designs. The only thing on here that's close to original is Cyberpunk Edgerunners, which honestly should have won. Mm-hmm. Because that's because character design's like one of the best things freaking Trigger does.
I'm gonna say the character design they are thinking of is probably Tengen Uzui. I know that name because I fucking watched Demon Slayer recently, and that is like the best design I have seen in that show. Next to some of the demons
there's
and
good
stuff.
design. Don't get me wrong. Again, it's adaptive. It's like
Like, it's from the manga. They didn't create anything new, is what we're saying.
yeah, like at least
No.
the characters from Cyberpunk Edgerunners are new original characters.
They didn't design something, they colored it in,
And on
No,
top,
that's
and on
fair
top
enough.
of that, they gave it best animation as well. I'm just like yeah, it was good, but like Ranking of Kings Core 2 went so fucking hard. Are you fucking kidding?
Yeah, but we have to accept that, like, it's
Cyberpunk
gonna be the
Edgerunners
loudest
again.
voices.
Honestly, I'd rather have than
I
Demon
guess,
Slayer.
but honestly, if they want this to be taken as seriously as they're trying to be making it, like, taken seriously, they should maybe consider, I don't know, the actual innovative technique involved as opposed to this has nice colors and moves smoothly.
Well, on top of that, Demon Slayer is just a bunch of fucking pre-rendered effects.
Exactly. There's nothing, again, like, for me, it's like, how much skill and time and effort went into this, and does it show? And with Demon Slayer, I'm like, it doesn't look bad, but
No, it
doesn't
looks
really
good.
offer
It does
anything
look
new.
good.
Before we run our mouths off
Well,
about
I'm
how
saying that
much
these
work
nominees are
really
good
went into
versus
the
better.
animation. Because, like, those people still slave away. I mean, you can just
Yeah,
talk.
no,
like,
no,
Jack,
no, I recognize
I
all
think
of
I
them.
mentioned.
No. I'm not saying that they didn't work hard on it. I'm saying I want to see that work
Yeah.
on the paper, you know?
I think every nominee on this list is fucking deserving. But
Yeah.
when it comes to the winner, nah, I would put a Ranking of Kings, Cyberpunk, and even Attack on Titan before Demon Slayer.
That's no, fair enough. I mean, I haven't watched those. I was definitely impressed with Demon Slayer.
Oh yeah, like I said,
By
it's
the way,
still good. It's just you're ranking good, great, and perfection.
Yo.
I mean,
And one of these is perfect. It was Ranking of Kings. Demon Slayer wasn't perfect.
100%.
look, I think the fact of the matter is, like, when you really get down to it, are we talking about the nominations? Because really, it's more about, like, the fans who actually vote for this stuff.
They have a
Essentially.
they consider the fan vote. They also have, just like the Oscars, they have a board that.
Oh wait, is there a
object-
fan vote for the Oscars?
Actually, they have a fan vote category for the Oscars
They do?
now.
There's a People's
La-
Choice
yeah.
now?
Last year, I think the Snyder Cut,
Oh, okay.
won last year. I'm pretty sure,
Fucking sick.
which was fucking a joke, and I
Like,
love
that's
it.
terrible,
I
but
love
I'm
it. I
glad
love
Did
it.
the Snyder
Just,
Cut-
just to completely undermine how fucking terrible the Oscars
Did the
is.
Schneider Cut come out in 2022?
Who the fuck knows, and who the fuck cares?
No, it came out in 2021. So why would that even? I guess late 2020.
I don't know.
fucking
I don't know,
Whatever.
and I don't fucking care about the Snyder Cut.
No, I just don't care about DC
Best,
or Marvel or
best
anything.
new anime series, Spy X Family.
Shocker.
Big fucking surprise. Like I said
Nothing on
before,
this list is-
enjoy it while it lasts, because the material they have going forward is not as good as the first like 18 chapters of the manga. So there was a really interesting arc that just wrapped up in the manga currently that just kind of like went out like a fizzle. Like it started off very interesting and there's like, okay, we're tired of this, moving on.
Wow.
But they're trying to make developments though, so I gotta give Endo Sensei some credit.
Yeah, that's Spy Family.
Spy Family, yes.
What happened exactly?
Well, there was this arc. So basically, like the kids got like a bunch of terrorists fucking invaded their bus during a school trip.
Wow.
And
Oh,
like,
no.
what's the fucking movie with Keanu Reeves with the bus that can't stop?
Oh,
Miles per hour or something.
I don't fucking know. Like I said, but it's an old classic action film. It was Spy X Family's version of that.
Oh my god.
And then there's like at some point the villain was like, "Oh, Anya's too
Speed?
cute. I give up." And it's
I
like,
mean,
all
I get
right,
it, but also
damn, there were some interesting things happening, and then it just kind of went out like with a whimper, and it's just like, come on. But yeah, so Spy X Family, honestly, well deserved. Studio Wit and Cloverworks collaborating are doing a fucking great job. It's just the fact that unless they have like carte blanche on the movie, the material they have coming next is not going to be as nearly as interesting. Otherwise, best continuing series they give to One Piece, and I mean, pretty well deserved. Sure, why not?
who else?
Sure. As a big One Piece stan, honestly, I'm kind of like, really? You're here?
YouTubers really popularized One Piece, in mainstream YouTubers, not anti-tubers, mainstream YouTubers really popularized One Piece last year. So culturally, this feels correct. This feels like kind of a Western forgiveness for One Piece. Like,
Yup.
I said that One Piece's reputation would never be rebuilt in the West unless our generation all died off, but who knows?
Hard to
There
disagree.
might be
I
hope
think
now.
you may be very wrong. I've always
I
had
agree.
contention with this.
I agree, except on me, and so I think I'm correct.
I think you're very wrong.
When you say it like
Because
that,
I'm
you know
me.
what? I kind
me.
of agree with you. Then
Yeah.
I'm happy it's on there. Then, if when you put it in that context, for sure.
And also because
I
what they're
have
counting, they're
long-
counting episode, what was it, 1050? The one with the anime original episode with Yamato and Ace. It's that episode
That was
alone.
good.
It's because of that one episode that I would also agree was probably like the best fucking episode of anime of last year, right?
It reminded us how fucking cool Ace is, and it made Yamato for a brief time a likable
Very
character.
likable.
How cool Ace is.
No one forgot
Fuck
how cool
that
Ace
guy.
is.
I forgot. I
More-
forgot how
more
cool
Yamato
Ace is until
propaganda.
I rewatched it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, as a Yamato stan, even I'm fucking tired of Yamato.
It's because they
'Cause he's
really
overhyped.
are
He's
kind
so
of nobody.
overhyped.
I was thinking about this a lot. I mostly blame the absolute crowd of people that decided to hype up the character to like an ungodly degree that frankly
But
was not.
it's the same energy as Zoro stands. We know this for a fact. Like, this is just what One Piece
Yeah,
fans do.
but we can at least
What-
agree
what-
that Zoro was built up over time
Yes.
to get the standum he has. Yamato literally came
Yamato was
in
a firework,
with her
alright? It was a
with-
big flash of
with-
light. But
with their fucking side
But,
boob
again,
jiggling
let's-
about, and everyone's like, "Ew."
let's count our
Go on.
blessings. The fact that Dragon Ball fans are so fucking toxic. One, My Hero Academia fans are just young. They're just young and whiny. Like, they grow out of it. But One Piece, give One Piece fans credit. Their only sin is that they love their story too much. That's their only
Pretty
crime.
much.
One Piece fans,
That's
just
true.
They just love it too much. They overhype everything. And like you
True.
gotta just like tilt your head and,
It
and
makes
be
entry
endeared to that.
impossible. It's like I'll never be able to love it as much as you do, so I might as well not start. Like that. Was
Like
my
you see
whole
a married
thing
couple
before I
and they're
started
so in
watching
love,
it.
and like I could never get married. Like I could never be that in love.
Right? Like I am
Like,
pissed
it's
off.
not that
I
you
am
can't.
frankly.
It's just the fact that it makes your sense of dedication just quake. Like you're intimidated by the amount of love that One Piece fans love One Piece. It's not a bad thing.
Even I am getting like kind of sick of One Piece in some regards.
Yes.
But I have been spurned.
that hurt
I was,
to
as you know, I was spurned last week because everyone was like popping off all week,
I
and
was
I only
about
read
to
it before the
message
fucking
you this week
podcast.
because I read the chapter early. I was about to go, Val, guess what happened in One Piece this week? And you would have said, what?
They come back.
No, I would have said nothing. I still like what's going on better than the raid on Onigashima. I like it way
Yeah,
better. I still like Island better.
The fact of the matter is, like, Onigashima just went on way too long. It really did. There was too many cut back and forth.
Yes.
And once again, we have cut from potentially really cool events that we're just not gonna fucking see. We'll pan back to that later on at some point. It's just fuck.
Honestly, if there wasn't best continuing anime series, honestly, this is kind of the one Demon Slayer should have won. Can I be frank?
I mean, if you want to, sure. I haven't watched almost anything else on this
when any source of medium has a goal, declares that goal, and clears that goal, I consider that a massive win, and I feel like no other anime has very distinct goals and very distinct hurdles that it clears every year, like Demon Slayer. It's a well-oiled machine. It really is. As much as I whine about Demon Slayer, I really do respect the Demon Slayer anime.
Oh yeah, no, same. We've talked about it before. When it came out in 2016, I just kind of wrote it off as like, yeah, it's pretty typical and shit. I wouldn't have Chainsaw Man for another like 3 years, really.
I hope Chainsaw Man goes away for like 4 years, like Attack on Titan did. I genuinely do.
I kind of wouldn't mind that as well.
We don't need it. Like it's incredible, but like I don't want to drink alcohol every fucking hour of the day. I'll get fucking sick.
What are you talking about right now?
Well, yeah, good, like the good top shelf shit I'm talking about. Like, I don't want to get tired of Chainsaw Man.
Yeah.
I don't.
You want Chainsaw Man to be like an event when it comes out.
Exactly. I want it to be a massive event. I don't want
Chainsaw
Chainsaw Man to be
have...
Call of Duty. Where there's a new one every fucking year, and you get tired of it very quickly. I don't want that. I want a I could wait 10 years for another Chainsaw Man.
I wouldn't go that far.
I can wait. I'd rather die than see another season of Chainsaw Man.
I do not want... I agree with you. I do not want yearly Chainsaw Man. I would like Chainsaw Man to take a break this year, maybe release like, middle of next year or something like that.
Maybe.
At the very least. Then again, that's probably the way it's going to go, considering it only ended a few weeks ago.
Best anime opening sequence they gave to the Rumbling? Fuck off. Boo. Attack on Titan? Boo!
That song is kind of a fucking banger,
the song is
though.
Cool. But I'm sorry, but Mixed Nuts is on this list.
Also, Naked Hero was on
here. Yeah, Naked Hero is on
here.
Oh,
is
yeah.
On here for Ranking of Kings.
I even said Naked Hero should win.
There's a
fuck
Franz
Rumbling. Naked
Ferdinand
Hero.
song on this list from Edgerunners. This fire. Come on. This was a fucking stat nominee list, by the way.
Oh my god.
I don't think we gave it enough credit when we were talking about the nominees
last time. This was them just babying Attack on Titan, like, don't worry, champ, we didn't forget you.
MAPPA, please work with us. MAPPA, let us buy you. Please.
No, it's the fans mainly.
Hey, best anime ending sequence. They gave it to comedy for Spy X Family.
Yeah.
Well,
that's good.
Deserved. That is that is an all-time goated
that
fucking
one
credit
works
sequence.
Better, I feel like.
It's so fucking good.
It is really fucking good. Best
X
score,
Family
Kota
just has some of the
Yamamoto.
best tracks, I feel like.
It's such a passion project because like they don't have like a. So I learned this overnight that the they don't have a traditional composer. I don't know the name. They hired a band specifically to do the fucking soundtrack for Spy X Family.
All of every track on the Spy X Family soundtrack is a banger.
Yeah,
like, not just the openings and endings. Like the scoring is fucking perfect. Like I love Spy X Family. At least soundtrack
Wait, the Rumbling won twice?
No Name is the band name for that was working on Spy X Family.
Sorry, Rumbling won twice. It got best opening sequence and best anime song.
Boo.
Oh, I'm sure it did.
That really sucks.
Fuck you.
Fucking New Genesis by Otto is on here at the very least. Fuck off.
Ridiculous.
My nonfiction should have won for Kaguya-sama.
Actually, I'm really surprised that One Piece Film Red didn't win anything on here.
Yeah, considering...
that does
oh
shake
my
me a
god,
little bit.
fucking Oda is still pushing for it in the fucking author's comments. The grift never fucking ends. Best ending went to the comedy, which is great. Best anime score they gave to Attack on Titan. That's fine. The Attack on Titan score is good. But they've been doing the same motifs. They just keep remixing the same motifs, and that's the problem.
I'm just sick of Attack on Titan. I'm just gonna...
Too bad. We got another 10 years of Attack on Titan.
I've been paying more attention to anime scores lately.
fuck off. Let's get a new champ.
I was
here.
rewatching Brotherhood, as I've mentioned a few times. I recently finished it, and I was really surprised at how few songs they actually had in the Brotherhood OST. To be honest,
because anime didn't used to be a tie-in for pop stars.
Yeah, the score was awesome.
Like, that's the thing. So much of anime now is about promoting idols. It's the reason Tokyo Mew Mew came back. It's the reason we have, like, such a big musical emphasis in Film Red.
How was that? How
What, the
was
Tokyo Mew Mew remake? 25
Yeah.
fucking times better than the original. It's so fucking good. I
Ooh.
literally cry every episode because of, like, this is so much more beautiful than I ever would have imagined. And if you had told 12-year-old me they're gonna make it again, but they're gonna do it so you'll like it more, I would have lost my shit.
They basically gave it the Sailor Moon
I bet
Crystal
neither of
treatment.
you.
No,
I bet neither of
the
you
Sailor
can
Moon
wait
Crystal was a
for
huge
when.
downgrade.
Bro, so I was like, so you've been writing some shit with Peo?
Yeah,
With this?
yes.
And I hear the soundtrack. I swear to God, that is the same composer for Sailor Moon Crystal.
Oh, composer-wise, I'm sure. But, like...
It just feels like the same
whole
shit.
reason that they're doing this, I think, is because they found this idol band they wanted to promote. They're like, what if we, like, promoted both these things together? And so, like, we have a really fucking killer shoujo revival.
Thanks,
mixed with
capitalism.
idol promotion. I'm kind of fine with it in this case, because it kind of slaps. Like, it's real good.
Best anime film. They gave it to Jujutsu Kaisen 0.
Which,
Fine.
That
again,
was good.
Only
Fine.
other film I saw other than Film Red on this list.
You saw
so.
Dragon Ball Superhero. You
Well,
were just
not until the other night.
Yeah.
Like, when we were talking about who we'd vote for, this is the only other one I knew.
yeah, like honestly,
I
these
only
are
Also,
saw-
I saw, air quotes, I was trashed. I didn't see that movie.
True.
I was in the room while that movie was playing.
I'm kind of glad Superhero didn't win.
It was
To be
it
honest.
wasn't
I
going
know
to
you
win.
enjoyed it. I know you enjoyed it though. Like
I
you
only
enjoyed
enjoyed it
more
because I don't
this.
think
You know what?
because I didn't really like any of the anime films this year.
Actually, I saw
Yeah.
Belle, and I kinda liked Belle better than Jujutsu Kaisen 0.
Belle was weird.
It was weird. but
Belle
it was
is
pretty.
weird.
It's
It's
one of
just
those
Beauty
things
and
where
the
you put it
Beast
on
in
for
an
the
online
baby while they're
game.
on the floor, like, kicking away, drooling. That's kind of how I feel watching Belle. I feel like a baby who's trying
Belle's
to,
got
like,
priority
be put down to
problems.
nap, you know?
And then One Piece
What was
Film
the
Red's just
other-
sitting there for the fans. But no, Jujutsu Kaisen 0, which I'm like, you know what? It had goals and it clears its goals easily. That's fine.
There was a. What was the other Mamoru? Oh, it's Mirai. That's the one I wanted to see. That came out in 2018.
Mirai's fine. Yeah, it came
It's
out a
fine.
hot minute ago.
I can't remember anything about it.
And, like, I'm surprised how
Mirai's
long
about
ago
this it's about this young kid.
time traveler.
Yeah, like this kid basically like he's a little bratty only child. He's a toddler. His parents have another kid, and now she takes all the attention. He gets mad. He runs away through time and goes to the future and meets his sister, now older. And then they time travel, and it's just like an anthology where they just kind of time travel and they kind of see their family at different points of their life.
Oh, that's kind of cute.
It's not bad. It's very solid.
I kind of feel like Mamoru Hosoda. I've watched pretty much all of his films except for Mirai, and I kind of feel like Summer Wars and The Girl Who Leapt Through Time is still his best work. Wolf Children is fine, but I just prefer The Girl Who Leapt Through Time and Summer
Still
Wars.
haven't seen Wolf Children. What
Mainly
else
because
does this
Summer
guy
Wars
do?
is basically just the Digimon movie, the second Digimon movie again.
Let's see.
I'm gonna say I remember
He
the
did
Digimon.
The Boy and the Beast.
Yeah, I know
What?
exactly.
I thought The Boy and the Beast
I
wasn't
know.
that good. I think The Boy and the Beast is really meh.
The Boy and the Beast is one of my all-time
Stop
favorite
it.
films.
That's like my favorite movie. It's
All-time
so good.
favorite, really?
Yeah, Boy and the
So
Beast is
good.
so good. The
It's one of my
fucking
favorite
dub
animated
is great
films.
too.
I felt like it kind of felt messy, especially towards the end. Like it just sort of like
It
happened.
does.
I
It
was
does
kinda
have a
like,
weird ending, but you're so invested that if you're invested at that point, you can overlook
It doesn't
it.
feel messy to me. It feels culturally jarring. Like, it's very different from what we expect from a conclusion in
Yeah,
the
it
West.
kind of changes genres.
Well, that's the thing too, is like, again, we talked about this in my Japanese culture class, but in storytelling, like, Americans tend to go like point A, point B, point C, point D, like a line or a box, whereas in Japan, storytelling is spiral. So it's like you may be like arriving at the same place you were at the beginning of the movie, but it's like, I don't know how to explain it, but it feels like it's all over the place. It's like a bumblebee's path more so than a straight road. There we go. That's a better way to put it. Fuck.
a whatty what path?
Bumblebee?
Oh, a bump.
Go
Oh,
Buzz.
okay.
Yeah.
So I thought you were talking about the movie, like the.
No.
Never mind.
The story itself moves like a bumblebee instead of a train.
Okay. I get that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I was like just trying to figure out what you meant by bumblebee. What aspect of the bumblebee?
I totally
Okay.
figured.
All right.
It was confusing.
Best director,
Yeah.
Haru Sotozaki for Demon Slayer.
Okay.
This is like comparing great with perfection. Like, it's like
I would probably
you've got-
give that to Cyberpunk.
This was such a stacked fucking crew. You've got Cyberpunk, Spike's Family, Licorice Recoil, Ranking of Kings, Attack on Titan. Everyone here's fucking great. I also would have given it to the Hiroki Amaishi for Cyberpunk. Like, it was so fucking good.
I don't know enough about what an animation director does to really make a educated guess at who
Everything.
would've won.
If you saw the MAPPA documentary about Attack on Titan, apparently Yuichiro does fucking everything. Poor guy.
I will say though, I do think that Haruo Sotozaki did earn that, because when I was watching Demon Slayer, I was genuinely so fucking invested in like every goddamn minute of season 2.
accomplishment of goals.
Season 1. I've been saying this to my me and Adam were talking to a friend of ours. And being like, oh yeah, you should watch Demon Slayer, you'd probably enjoy it. And he was like, I watched 7 episodes of the first season. I was like, and he was like, I dropped it. I was like, you know what? Fair enough. You obviously didn't like it, and I don't fucking blame you, because the first season, for at least the first half, is really fucking hard to get through, in my opinion. Like, between all like the cool things that happen, it's got the usual like the Dragon Ball Z thing. Oh, X did this in this way that I have just observed, but I feel the need to tell you exactly how they did it anyway. And it really takes me out of it. Season 2 did not really have much of that in retrospect compared to season 1. And it showed, and I don't know, it was just genuinely satisfying to watch.
I hear you know, here's the reason why, Val, is because season 1 is so stereotypical shonen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you've seen or read a fucking shonen manga or shonen anime, you've seen them all, especially in regards to Demon Slayer season 1. Like, everything they do is a complete fucking trope, so of course you're burnt out by the time you get to that. So like, if I were to recommend Demon Slayer to someone, I would probably make them watch Mugen Train or watch season 2 first. And be like, hey, do you like this? Now go back to the beginning.
Did you guys know the Kaguya-sama manga ended last year?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it ended a long time ago.
November. That's not a long
That's a long time
ago. It
I
ended,
don't read a ton of
it
comedy
ended in
mangas,
November.
Yeah, I've known the anime for a while. I just don't talk about it because I want that to be a surprise for
because he's
everyone.
hurt.
Yeah, I'm
He
hurting
needed
too.
he needed to lick his wounds alone.
I needed to
first.
process that alone. But yeah, so back on track. Best anime character.
Boo!
Eren Yeager.
Second year in a row.
I could
right?
agree
He won
with
this
that.
last year, didn't he?
I'm pretty sure.
He
Fuck.
won this
Is
last
it
year.
annoying?
Fuck him.
Look,
DQ.
is it annoying? Did you say he cute?
DQ.
I thought you just stopped and
Nah,
like
that's
looked
a
at when
Freudian
he
slip for you,
cute.
Val.
No.
That's what you were thinking.
You know who's cute? Boji.
Fucking
Who
Bochi.
should have gotten it.
Bochi, Chisato, David Martinez, Lloyd Forger, even the incel bait is on the nominee list and didn't win.
I would say Boji, Chisato, or David would all be my top choices before this guy. Like,
Wait, who's incel? Bait?
Marin from Dress Up Darling.
Oh, true. Yeah.
incel bait.
I was about to say if Lucy was on there, I would
let's
say.
say that voting did count. How
Let's be
did
honest.
Marin not win?
Let's be honest, I think a lot of female characters in the last year have been very high incel bait. Lucy is like probably the top one.
Wait, Lucy
Hell,
who?
Cyberpunk
Lucy from
is
who? Hey,
ba-
explain yourself.
from Cyberpunk. Lucy from Cyberpunk is
I
honestly
didn't watch
like
Cyberpunk all the way, so
the
I can't
new-
defend that.
Yeah.
I thought you finished it.
No.
Nope. I watched the first like 3-4 episodes.
Yeah, we watched 4 episodes.
I'm getting there.
Okay,
I
she's-
will get
okay.
there.
I won't.
She is not a bad character, but it's all very. Honestly, I would describe. I think I've said it before. I think Cyberpunk is like the 2020 Scott Pilgrim.
You know what? I wouldn't
Damn.
disagree. I wouldn't disagree.
Now I have to finish it.
Although I would say that Scott Pilgrim's better, but
Scott Pilgrim you can watch in one sitting.
I
that's the thing.
like boy. I mean, again, we just talk about shonen tropes. Like you mean the boy meets girl
I
subgenre?
think Scott
Yeah.
Pilgrim is. I will say Scott Pilgrim is highly appealing because, frankly, it. How do I put this? I think Scott Pilgrim made the idea of like writing comics, in fact, just writing stories seemed like attainable and everything,
it's a
and
media
it was
culture
very like
bomb.
yeah,
Because
exactly. It was a media culture bomb.
That author / illustrator was just so fucking connected with like the culture. They made a playlist to go with every single volume of their graphic novel, which then made it into the movie, and then it became a video game. Like, it was a culture bomb. And it made sense because aesthetically, it also, like, kind of defined that entire decade. Like, the way Scott Pilgrim looks is how I'm going to explain to my brother's kids one day, like, this is what the world was like when I was growing up. Exactly like this. Fucking insane.
Yeah, so, like, did you read Seconds?
Well, I read, like, the first chapter of Seconds when I was bumming in a bookstore once, but I never read the whole thing.
I would say read Seconds. Seconds is good. I own the book. Whatever, next time we see each other, I'll let you read Seconds. I will give you Seconds to read. Yeah, because it's a really good one, actually. It's about, as if you read the first chapter, it's about a girl who owns a restaurant, but she kinda wants more out of life, and she comes across like a magical being living in like the basement of her restaurant, and when she eats these mushrooms that this thing grows, she can like go back in time
and stay
and
awake
like
forever.
Change stuff. Yeah, she gets like a piece of paper. It's like, write your mistake, ingest one mushroom, go to sleep, wake up, and she ends up in like alternate realities of like what she could have, but she's like always dissatisfied with something, or something's always kind of fucky, even in like small ways or big ways that she doesn't like, so she keeps on doing it again and again and again. And you can probably guess where it goes from there, but it's still good.
I bet you can guess.
And there's even a little cameo with Scott and Ramona.
Oh, fuck. Well, that's nice.
Yeah, they're just like chilling in her restaurant, eating and shit, and just having a nice time, being bays.
Being bays. I'm glad they get to be happy, because graphic novel Scott was a way bigger douchebag than movie Scott.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's why it didn't really work when it was like, oh, let's do the Shadow Scott thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, that's why it was like such a like small thing.
Well, we now
In fact,
normalized him dating a high schooler in the film, so how the fuck are we gonna...
Yeah, it's all really fucking... I mean, Scott Pilgrim is a super good story. I would, like, only because I've been on it so much.
Scott Pilgrim is good. Like, I don't...
Well, it's one of those things where, like, I know people didn't want me to mention it, but it's like I'm rewatching the Harry fucking Potter movies and shit like that, but it's like, Scott is actually, like, the worst person there, but you don't realize it until, like, the end or something. And he needs to actually shove it in your face.
J.K. Rowling was the worst person there all along, and we didn't even realize it. At any rate, I'm
sure there are worse people on the crew or something. I'm not gonna get into
I guess
this.
with the number of people involved now, yeah, I guess statistically that's very likely. But on the topic of the Anime Awards, the next two categories go to the same person.
It is not shocking. Best supporting anime character.
She's not a supporting character. She's a primary, like, protagonist.
She's what?
Spike's family, Anya Forger.
Anya Forger for best supporting
Most
character.
of the story
and
is like from Anya's perspective, isn't it? Because we're always getting her fucking like mental fucking rundown of things.
That's what I don't fucking get.
She is like most of the time when we have someone
her
thinking
and Lloyd are dual protagonists.
Yor is the backup character who is also on this list, but
I'm gonna say Yor is Yor is the most supporting feeling character in like the
Yor
main
gets
trio.
like short canned constantly in that story.
Yeah,
it's sad.
Like, yeah, it like the story like always boosts her up, and it's like, yeah, Yor's like the most capable, and Yor can do this and that, but it's always like she's never really doing all that much. Honestly, I'm waiting for the point where you tell me, Val, Yor and fucking Lloyd have to kill each other or something, and then it's like, yeah, I'll fucking rush
that we're
read
gonna
to
get
that.
They're gonna have to start like having conflicts of interest, but that's when Endo decides, all right, I have so many chapters left, because right now Jump's like, bro, just submit a chapter every other week or two, wherever you fucking feel like, and make your fucking bankroll.
Look, I want Spy Family to get to the point where it's like, no, this is a serious story now. I know it never fucking will, probably, because of its,
no, it does. Like,
genre.
when they did the Lloyd origin chapters, that arc, they took itself pretty fucking seriously.
Well, that's what I want. I want it to go from, like, you know, the wholesome stuff with, like, a bit of espionage and everything to, oh no, the fucking Gestapo are after us, honey. You need to make a fucking
Again,
choice.
like
Your country.
that
or
bus
me.
fucking hostage arc got pretty serious for a sec. That's why I was getting interested, and then it's like, yeah, just kind of petered
For a
the fuck
minute,
out.
for like 2 seconds.
But yeah, now about the best action anime, Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer's sweeping, and here's the one where I'm like, all right, makes sense. Pretty good fucking candidates here too. Like, you got Attack on Titan, Cyberpunk, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Licorice Recoil, Spike's Family.
I am genuinely
deserving.
so fucking annoyed, to be honest, at like how repetitive this list
Me
is.
too.
That's always historically what it's always
Yep.
been like.
They're like, here are the
'Cause,
4
like,
anime we've decided are important. Now you get to vote on them. That's what my problem is with it. It's not so much the winners
it's-
as it is just the nominees. You know?
It's more annoying because we have like 10 like pretty. No, that's too many. We have at least 5 pretty good anime come out per fucking season or something, and I'm just seeing the same 5
I know.
fucking
And
series.
you know how fucked up next year's awards are going to be, considering that they completely discounted the fall last year? Like, literally next year's winners, we're gonna have like a whole fucking year of new great anime, and the winners are gonna be, it's gonna be a sweep between Chainsaw Man and Bocchi the Rock next year.
Yep.
Like, you know, exactly.
And these things have already ended their runs. They were all 13 episodes runs during the fall. They were done before this year even fucking began.
Like, I don't
And
know
there'd be
how the
next year's
Oscars really operate
awards.
because I have never sat down and watched the Oscars except for when Ricky Gervais was fucking hosting or something because that was fucking funny. But like, I don't know. It feels like the Oscars probably have way more fucking variety in their list than this, to be honest.
No, not really.
Yeah, don't
No,
count on it.
well,
No,
that's just
It's about
disappointing.
the same.
Because,
It's about the same.
well, that's genuinely disappointing because,
Yes.
frankly, the amount of
Award
high,
shows historically fucking suck.
the amount of high caliber like movies we get is far less than the amount of like anime that we get. So it's just really fucking disappointing.
So best
comedy
yeah.
goes to Spy
big
Family,
fucking
which is
shocker.
obvious.
Enjoy it while it lasts. Although I would say
Ivan might.
I would say
have said that,
Kaguya-sama
no.
was more deserving because I think Kaguya-sama this season, ultra romantic.
Next year
went
you'll slam your
crazy.
fist down
I
and you'll
agree
say,
with that. Although
"Wait,
next year I have my eye on someone I hope gets at least nominated.
Who's that?
Fucking
if it doesn't
Tomo-chan as a
happen next
girl.
year,
I love
Tomo-chan as
that
a
show.
girl is
okay.
pretty solid.
Tomo-chan as a girl is
I thought you were gonna
awesome,
say.
and I love
I
Carol.
keep
would
trying to
die
say.
for
I was
her.
gonna slam his fucking fist down and say, "Where's my fucking Roboco in best comedy?"
Okay, Roboco's funny, but like unfortunately it's a victim of its
It's a 3-minute
yeah,
one.
it's the victim of its timing. It's like it's good. Like that's a good 3 minutes, but unfortunately Kaguya-sama can do a good 20. So, you know, you're kind of fucked there. Best
True.
drama, Attack on
More
Titan.
cocksucking
Big
here.
fucking surprise.
Objectively wrong. Kotaro was a better drama.
No, I would say objectively correct. The amount of like
Why?
stakes and everything, and then like
not
emotional
about
pressure on the
stakes.
characters in that is like pretty fucking
Here's the thing,
high.
I didn't even watch Made in Abyss, and I'd rather give this to a Made in Abyss.
I didn't watch Made in Abyss either. I'm kind
Because
of
I know
tempted
objectively
to,
it's good, it's just personally I don't like watching children
but
squirm.
I know, right?
What?
That's
No,
not
like,
my
they do-
That's
I-
not
I-
my taste.
I was like watching a bit.
There's a
Well,
lot
the
of there's a lot
basic-
of child violence in Made in Abyss that
It's not
there's
even
cringe
the-
in Crunchyroll's case where it's funny, and then there's literal like physical cringing because you're so fucking unsettled.
Is
And
it supposed to be funny or is it
no,
like...
no, it's a drama.
Okay, no.
Oh, it's
Okay,
like
I will describe this.
Higurashi.
But
I
like,
saw
and
a
I
clip
get,
of it
objectively, I know the
recently.
show's great, and I know that there's people who fucking love that. I'm just saying personally, I'm fucking Hayao Miyazaki when they're showing the simulation of a zombie crawling on the ground.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just like, nah. I'm just like that.
That's an insult to life,
This
yeah.
does not impress me. This is not how I like to. These are not the kind of stories I want to fucking see.
Yeah, I get you.
Best fantasy.
It's like, no, I'm gonna say, Steena, I will describe a moment I saw to you from Made in Abyss that gave me the exact same sensation that Ivan is talking
goody.
about. There's this character called Faputa. It's already the name is like, ooh, I don't like that name. Is a weird bunny girl with like 4 arms and shit, and she like pokes like a tiny hole into like the fucking robot boy's like belly button and starts sniffing at his fucking cock and shit like that. It's just fucking weird and
What?
like not nice to watch, to be honest. It's just kind of gross.
Let's move on. I hate it.
Story-wise, it seems really
It's a good
interesting,
story. I
and
watched
the
the first
author
full
has
season.
clearly
Like, it's good. It's just personally, it's a complete clash of personal taste. And again, I think it deserves the drama better than Attack on Titan is because
one day
you're stretching yourself now.
I may muster the strength to fucking sit through it or something, but because as Ivan says, the story and everything sounds really fucking good actually, but it just does not appeal.
I'm just sick and tired of this award show because this is the second year in a row where we've gotten to sit here and read
Attack on Titan,
Demon Slayer, Attack on Titan, Demon. Okay,
yes.
Cool. Nice, fun.
Yeah, so are you ready? Because best fantasy anime, Demon Slayer.
Oh my god, what? Who would have thought?
Fucking Ranking of Kings is sitting right here. Moshoku Tensei, Jobless Reincarnation is sitting right there. Even if I don't like the fucking Twilight pedophilia at the end, at least everything 99% leading up to that was fucking incredible.
Guys, it should be Ranking of Kings.
Yes.
The end. That's all there is to it, really.
And then we've already said this time and time again, Best Romance, Kaguya-sama won because what was there to oppose it? Call of the Night is solid, but is it the best romance? No.
I barely heard anyone talk about I barely heard anyone talk about Call of the Night.
Yup.
Shikimori is not just a cutie.
And that's the other thing too. Here's the problem with this category. People assume that this is the shoujo category because they don't fucking know the difference between a romance and a shoujo. So, everything on here is of course incel bait, but it's supposed to be like the give back for girl anime fans, but it's like you're not even featuring things in your nominees that anyone is watching for the romance component.
Hold up, guys. Yuki Kaji, Eren Yeager just won best voice acting performance in Japanese.
No fucking shit. Did he really?
I mean, I feel like this
is really good. You can't blame the voice actor for being
good.
I'm not blaming a voice actor.
No, here's the thing. It's good.
I know you know.
But Fairuz Ai for Jolene Kuju and JoJo's, this is the one award you give to JoJo's.
Right?
I don't know.
Hell, even fucking Son Natsuki Hane, in Demon Slayer, also a great fucking performance. Honestly, these
I
are
like
all good.
Anya's performance.
These are all good. I get the voice actor's performance one. It's always very stacked, and I feel like this was stacked. Anyone could have won, and so Crunchy's give it to Attack on Titan. Give it to Attack on Titan.
I can't wait for
I don't know. I would say this definitely comes from the emotional range that the performer gets to do, because Eren is definitely a character with a lot of shit going on in that series, so his emotional range and ability to do that stuff. Best. Because I'm gonna say Anya is mostly just being cute the entire time. Is she amazing at being cute? Absolutely.
It's a comedy performance. Yeah. It's a different thing.
For sure,
hilarious.
but
apples
but
and
it's
oranges.
like I said. I think Yuki Kaji has the advantage because of the emotional range that he gets to explore with the character.
I agree. But now best voice acting English, Zach Aguilar for David Martinez.
I think that is totally fucking earned, actually.
No, he fucking went hard. I fully agree with this.
I'm bitter, but I'm fine with it.
I'm not talking shit on Zach Aguilar, but I was frankly really underwhelmed when I watched him in Demon Slayer as Tanjiro. But now then I watched Cyberpunk and I realized, oh my god, Zach Aguilar doesn't have a high voice or anything like that. No, he has a lower voice and he's putting on a higher voice.
He's got a
for
character now that
Tanjiro.
serves his fucking his voice register. He's finally in the right spot.
Precisely. It's he did amazing.
Even in his fucking video game roles, someone decided that Zach, the industry decided that Zach needs to be an anime good boy protagonist. And that's just not...
That's silly.
That's not his skill set.
He has more edge than that.
He's edgier. Yeah. He's darker and edgier than that. And now he finally got the right character.
Bad boy anime protagonist.
I agree.
A fucking anti-hero. He's got that shit on lock.
Yeah, but those are it. Those are the nominees.
Whoa. Are you going to leave out the Castilian, French, Spanish, Italian, Portuguese,
the list
German,
that we're reading doesn't have that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And that aside, I only speak one of those other
Also,
languages.
I didn't watch those dubs, so how am I going to fucking judge them, Val?
That's true.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm sure they all did marvelously. Good
agree.
on you all.
They were all stacked.
Whoever won those, I can't
Everyone who was
pronounce
nominated for voice acting performance fucking killed it this year. You should all be proud.
Agree.
Those were all great.
Are we gonna Are we going to talk about the Triumvirate, by the way? Or,
We
I mean,
are,
we're already
because
on
there isn't
49 minutes.
there isn't that much to talk about.
There really isn't. Chainsaw Man, barely anything happened. We got a little bit of information on demons. Pretty sure we're meeting
they just made a fucking... Apparently, Nostradamus said the end of the world was in July 1999. And so Yoshido literally knows that the Famine Devil is among them. He invites her to brunch, and he's like, yo, that's gonna happen, right? The end of the world? And she's like, yeah, it's gonna fucking suck. And apparently one of the devils involved is a primordial fear who Yoru encounters and Asa encounters at the beginning of this chapter, at the end of last chapter, when the people are jumping out of the apartment building. Our Discord fans are debating right now if this is the Death Devil or is this the Life Devil? Because the Death Devil would be a horseman, right? Like War. But they would also be primordial, because I think Famine said specifically it's a primordial fear. So if it's primordial, it has to be something that even animals can be afraid of. So Death sounds like a likely candidate. But can you be both a primordial fear and a horseman of the apocalypse?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, because that's what Famine is, isn't it? Or War?
Like, animals are afraid of starving to death.
Has Famine and War claimed to be primordial? Because I would not count War to be primordial.
I would say War's primordial.
I'd say violence is primordial.
Dude, here's the thing, though. Do chimpanzees fear war? Even though they fear getting their testicles bitten off by other chimpanzees. Chimpanzees are capable of war, but are they afraid? Do they fear the concept of war in the way that any other animal would fear darkness and death?
That's a good point.
That's what I mean.
No,
Again, primordial.
It requires
it's animalistic.
Foresight. It requires
I
foresight
want to
they
say
don't have.
I would probably say it's Death, just because it's like, those two people just having like the casual conversation.
It seems like the
about
easiest answer.
Yeah, let's die.
And considering that Famine and War are already here, it feels like and the fact that the apocalypse is about to happen, it feels like we gotta get the Four Horsemen involved, right? If the world is going to end in July 1999, and that's what we're heading towards, well, we have two horsemen available right now. I guess the simplest answer should be Death, right?
Is the Life Devil thing because of like the kind of tentacle or the tube kind of coming out the belly button area?
It's that imagery, and it's also the fact that the people who jump out of the apartment when they're having to, they're talking about their lives, and they're like, hey, we should just jump and kill ourselves. So what people are wondering if it's the fear intimidation of life itself, which I'm like, that makes fucking sense.
That's a good point.
I would count that as primordial fear. Like, you could absolutely
I'm gonna say as
be
well,
fucking afraid of life.
Yeah.
I hope Tatsuki Fujimoto like picks up. Like, I hope this is not like a final design or anything like that, because I'm kind of like.
Well, I mean, I get it. It's built very similarly to Death.
Well, it's also built very similarly. Wait, to Death? We haven't seen Death.
I'm sorry, not Death. I'm sorry, Darkness. You're right.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, that's, and I'm kind of like, I hope it has a better design, or this is just like a first form kind of thing. I also just noticed that it has like, yeah, and it has like bird wings as well.
Yeah, I get, like, didn't fucking Darkness have like a bird head?
It's been ages since I read the chapter.
But it looks very similar to Darkness, and so I'm like, this has got to be fucking Death.
That's definitely an interesting thought, though. That it's the Life Devil. I'm into that. Yep. I'm into that now.
Yeah,
that
but otherwise, you are correct. Not much really happened. This is a setup chapter, but now we know what our end game
considering is. It's kind of annoying though, because last time was a setup chapter as well.
Yeah, I agree. It's setup. But we know where our Gun Devil is now, though. It's the apocalypse.
But it's also like, especially after a 2-week break as well, So it's kind of.
But still, I still think this delivered. Like, again, it provided us an end goal to look forward to. That was huge. That was a huge development.
Surprise thing that we have to talk about: Yomi no Tsugai, which we didn't talk about last week because we both forgot to. This
came out in late February, and we just completely forgot too.
No. It came out recently. It came out last week. This is this month's chapter.
the March chapter? If so, I only read the February
Yeah,
one.
I have
So you gotta,
Yeah.
so we're behind on 2 chapters then, Val, and you gotta regale us.
Yep.
Okay, then Yomi no Tsugai, chapter 15, basically. The long arms, long
Okay, no,
legs
never mind,
devils.
Val. We read this. Yeah, you know, this still came out in late February.
Did
It
it?
postmarked that.
Oh, it did. February.
So that means we have
17th.
another chapter
Wait.
coming out probably like next week or the following.
Oh, so yeah, so we've really, damn, we really dropped
But
it
no,
then for
still
a
give us
minute.
the
Oh,
recap
damn.
because this was a great chapter.
Okay, so basically, long arms, long legs devils or deep daemons have been defeated. In fact, I've noticed that they've like switched over to like the new nomenclature of things since the
Oh yeah, they call them
official
daemons now.
title.
I'm like, I like
Yeah.
Tsugai better.
Yeah.
I kind of did as well. I was just noticing that stuff as I was reading this. So it turns out that the Tadera family member that we know, his father is still alive, and he's pulled a bit of a Joseph Joestar and had a where was he from? He's from Uganda, I think he says, because like I can't remember where it said it, but basically, he's got a new family member, a younger half-brother that he has met, who is a user of Tsugai, and it's kind of interesting because it's setting up that Tadera has a lot of, like, tension with his father, a bit like, very similarly to Edward Elric, but he doesn't seem to be, like, so hateful towards his father as he is just unsurprised by his behavior and the way he operates on things. And it really feels like we're building up the cast. We're like getting new allies and everything. And there's this very nice moment where, like, because this kid has some information about things that we should know, but not all of it.
Like he
Where,
knows that his
he's-
father knows the location of the parents.
Yeah, but he does not, and that obviously leaves Ken, I believe. It's been a while since I've read it and everything. To wonder where his parents are. And we have this very sweet moment where like they've taken in this kid and the 2 lads are talking about their parents. He's like, you know, I hope you meet your dad again soon. Like obviously you don't know him that well. And this like kid just starts breaking down. He's like, well, I hope you find your parents soon too. And he just seems like a really nice kid. We had some funny moments with
The cat. I like the part with the cat.
the cat.
There's two panels towards the end where the main character is messing around with the cat, and the cat just fucking slaps him and fucking cuts his arm. It's just a fun gag panel.
I am.
There's some fun ones
towards
too.
the
Even
end.
and then at the villain's house, like with the sister, the dark sister, like they have a moment where they're talking about like the fucking the Tanuki Tsugai,
Tanuki.
and his stretchable scrotum, and they just keep getting more and more pissed. They keep describing his net penis, and it's just like, I like it. This shit's just silly.
Oh my god.
Oh yes, I do. Yeah, I know that. But yeah. I forgot about that bit. No, I do like that bit as well. When you said towards the end, I was like, I don't remember that being at the end because
It's a big chapter.
at the end. Yeah,
It's the
at
end
the
of
end, they
it's
kind
the
of
end of their fucking arc.
It just loomed so
True.
large in your mind after the fact that you're like, that must have been like the last thing they said, because that's most of what I remember.
I really liked the inclusion of this uncle character for one of the other heads of house.
Yes.
Where it's like clearly he's the outsider of the family and
Yeah, they
everything.
tell him like
he does
kill the
not
manga
want.
guy and you get to inherit the family. He's like, well, the old man ain't gonna die yet. So like, well then
Yeah, he's not gonna die.
schmooze the daughter. He's like, well, she's 16. That's gross, bro.
And I'm interested in this new character they introduced. He's got like a samurai sword,
Greedling
and one of
with a
them seems to
sword.
be. It kind
Hiromu
of
has
is,
a
yeah.
type.
Honestly, it looks exactly like a character from Jujutsu Kaisen. Actually,
You know what?
Who has like
Fair. kind of accurate.
Oh, they all look
Yeah.
like each other.
They look like a Jujutsu Kaisen character, and he's kind of cool because he has like a fetus on the end of his sword that like connects to him or something, which is funny because I literally drew up a character for a D&D session like years ago with that specific like design, and it made me feel
With
very
a fetus
uncreative.
on his sword?
Yeah, he had like he was like a vampire knight, and like the sword would like he would like feed on people, and then the fetus
No, I remember
that was
that
connected to his
character.
sword.
But
Yeah. Oh, you do?
fetus?
Yeah, he had a fetus on his sword or something. Yeah, I will show you. It's this character. I don't know his name in. Yeah, one second. It looks like this guy. Like, I don't know, I'm getting this kind of guy vibe from him, because I swear he has his, like, hair tied up at one
Oh,
point.
there really is
My friend
like,
was
like a small child. Okay.
Yeah, there's like a little fetus monster on, like, that's connected to his sword and everything.
Gross.
It's like
Yeah, it
Death
is
Stranding,
gross.
but in Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah, and I had like a same kind of design thing for a D&D character I like scribbled up for like a boss fight in my D&D session.
Before we wrap things up for the week, is there anything you want to say about One Piece this week, other than the fact that, again, we briefly mentioned at the start of the show, where, you know, they're on the move, things are moving, but nothing's really happening. It's all action right now. It's all action, except for the very end where Shaka gets fucking domed.
One Piece was fine. It's just fucking annoying when people hype up and get excited. I feel bad for people that get excited for these things, and it almost makes me wish, Oda, you know, you've been doing this for fucking years. Why can't we just stop and, like, I understand he wants to end One Piece, and, like, we all
And he
know that
will.
it's not gonna happen, and he will.
Like 10 years.
But it's like, dude, can we please just, like, stop and sniff the flowers and watch Kid get fucking wrecked by fucking Shanks? Just let us have it, please. I mean, I think I'm most disappointed.
Historically, if it's not Luffy and the gang, don't most of One Piece best battles happen off screen? Think about Ace versus
Exactly.
Blackbeard and Akainu versus
We saw that stuff, like Akainu versus Whitebeard and everything.
the Ice and the Fire guy. We never see the we see
Aokiji.
Yeah, Aokiji. We always see the aftermath of their battle, but never the actual battle.
See, I don't mind that bit because it was
You don't
like
mind that
entire.
bit, and that's what constantly happens.
I don't mind it there because we actually get to go to the location and get like an impression of it rather than actually seeing
Yeah,
it.
and like
'cause
we're not going to get an impression. Not that we're not going to get a literal impression of Kid's face buried into the fucking ground post fight.
True. They just find like the
The
indentation
impression
of his face
asshole
somewhere.
in the fucking ground.
Yeah, and Luffy just like, oh, it looks familiar and everything. Yeah,
But yeah, so One
It's,
Piece, like I said, Shaka found where Vegapunk was being held and the other government agents, and then he gets fucking shot in the head.
I am almost like I'm genuinely interested who this traitor is.
Doflamingo. There's no traitor. It's just Doffy just hiding in the shadows.
I hope it's not any of the Vegapunks. I
It
hope
can't
it's
be at
not
this point.
Shaka.
It doesn't make any fucking sense.
We don't. We'll see. We don't know that. For all we know,
It's someone we
Shaka
have
is
not
just
seen
doing.
yet.
For all we fucking know, Shaka has like set this up to be like, okay, I'm going to get shot here, but I'm actually going to survive. You see. In fact, I swear to God, if this man isn't dead, which I think it would be acceptable to kill him off, even if One Piece is kind of kid-friendly in many ways. But, like, the man got domed. He's basically a robot in appearance, so it's, like, acceptable, I would say. I don't know, it wasn't a bad chapter, but it's like, god damn, I am pissed off that people got me hyped up for last week's chapter. I've waited 2 weeks for this chapter. And yeah, it was just fine as far as One Piece goes.
Speaking of waiting 2 weeks, the last thing we should say before we go is Horikoshi is on unplanned hiatus again. And at this point, why not just make it a planned hiatus? This poor guy, I feel so bad.
Why not just put him down?
How many sick weeks has he taken since apologizing for not being able to finish Hero Academia last year? How many breaks? This shit, like, at this point, the spring manga that are supposed to show up and replace My Hero Academia are about to arrive soon. Why not just take 3 months off like Black Clover and Jujutsu Kaisen did?
Well, One Piece.
And finally heal the hell up. Properly.
Honestly, I'm kind of like...
Culture. That's not how it works over there.
No, but these other guys got 3-month vacations. He should too before they end things.
He's
He should
old-fashioned.
too. He should too.
I
He's
kind of
like
think that he
25
should
years
just...
old.
You can be young.
I think that he should really have just... I was surprised that he didn't take the break last
Black
week.
Clover's guy on vacation. Force him on vacation.
He probably doesn't want to because he's at the fucking finishing stretch, really.
It sucks, man, but for his sake and for the mangas, if he's gonna fucking get like one chapter a month at this point, take 3 months so he can go back to a weekly and be well rested because Hunter x Hunter's off the fucking weekly register again.
Huh.
Big fucking surprise! Who could have saw this coming?
People, just give up on Hunter x Hunter. Let the man just fucking rest. The story ended when Gon met his dad and shit.
If there has never been a better argument for Shonen Jump specifically, manga needs to start becoming seasonal. Like when One Piece and Jujutsu Kaisen are like, let's say that My Hero Academia, One Piece, Black Clover, Jujutsu Kaisen are our big four. Debated, cry about in the comments. This is just a case example. Why can't we have 3 going and 1 takes a break for 3 months? And then 3 months later, 1 goes on another break, and then the other 3 keep going. So basically, basically once a year, you get a 3-month vacation if you're a top running mangaka.
I mean, it's kind of interesting,
to prevent yourself
from
getting fucking sick. And it doesn't even have to be monthly. Sorry, it doesn't even have to be 3 months. It could be a month. Someone takes a month off. Every manga takes a month off, and they take turns taking a month off.
That sounds like a pretty good plan.
That
Too
feels
bad they won't go
that
for
feels
it.
fucking
In
tenable.
theory.
Theoretically, because considering overall how people have to fucking they get sick, they get hurt, and they end up taking like 3 months off a year anyways on an unplanned rate. Why not plan for it? Why not plan for it?
It is theoretically
Because
tenable.
Black Clover and
yes,
Jujutsu
but
guys are fucking killing it right now. Like those fucking planned hiatuses turn out to be very fruitful because they're running hot. They feel fresh. Their stories are fucking.
I do
popping
not
off.
believe that Shonen Jump as a company. How do I put this? I don't believe that they don't want him to take a break. I'm sure they would prefer he takes a break. And I'm certain that he is imposing this on himself to some degree.
Oh, I agree. No, yeah,
honestly,
it's definitely mutual. But I'm just saying, they had to pull out Black Clover's manga kicking and screaming. He did not want to go on break. They forced it. They have the power to do it.
And it's I really think Horikoshi just wants My Hero Academia behind him.
I agree. I agree, but at what cost, bro?
No,
It's
I
killing
agree.
him. It is
At what cost,
fucking
but-
killing him. And part of
Maybe
me
it would
wonders
be-
too, again, tinfoil hat, you have to wonder if there is another movie in the works. How is he getting so run down? He might be consulting on a movie too right now. He might be
Potentially,
stretched very thin.
I am more surprised that he didn't take last week off because everyone seemed to take last week off. At least the ones that we read and everything. Or was it everyone? Was it a holiday thing?
I don't know. I couldn't tell. I think we're past the holidays now.
I actually, when I went over to York and everything to see my friend Jack, I actually got a look at the monthly Shonen Jump magazine.
Their monthly, their monthly one.
Yeah, their monthly one. And because he bought a bunch of stuff from Japan. He also bought me some cool little presents actually, which I very much appreciated. And that magazine is so fucking thick, Ivan.
Because monthly manga's bigger.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. That thing is the size of a novel or some shit, man. It's crazy, actually. Goddamn. I don't know how big Weekly Shonen Jump is. I imagine it's somewhat equally big or something.
Weekly Shonen. So not Shonen Jump. You're talking about Weekly Shonen.
Yeah, Weekly Shonen Jump.
It's not as big as Jump, but it's still pretty fucking big.
How big the magazine is? I don't know.
Well, I mean, manga in general is just ubiquitous with Japanese culture. Everyone reads manga.
It's an interesting thing. I mean,
To put it into a Western perspective, that's like comparing ABC and Fox in terms of network broadcasts. Network television is huge, and so it's you're comparing. It's one's big, one's bigger, but how can you tell the difference between two colossi? You know?
True.
Like, that's how it kind of goes.
I think this situation with Horikoshi
Jump is just
sucks
more
because
popular
one of
in the
those
West.
things. I think it's one of those things where we are constantly reviewing and talking about a genre of media that really is just like backbreaking, like metaphorically backbreaking, where it's like if you want to succeed, you have to be putting like in the fucking work. I mean, we've been talking about My Hero Academia a lot lately. Obviously, it's one of our triumvirate, and it's not on this week, but it's like I'm looking at One Piece, and we can agree. Oda works his ass off. Oda and his team work their fucking asses off. But even you and I were saying the other week, damn, My Hero Academia makes One Piece look pretty fucking bad in comparison when you're like looking at the art and everything, especially lately.
Hori's going hard, and this is why he's getting sick, because he's got to do this weekly.
Exactly.
It's impossible.
Exactly.
Without
And it's
burnout.
like so fucking hard. But it's like me
The
and
man
Jack
is
were talking about it
sputtering
the
right
other
now,
day
trying
too.
to keep up.
Me and Jack were talking about it as well, where it's like, it's the same thing with animation. They're just two industries where it is just like, you know, if you ain't got the fucking strength to fucking go through with it, you're not gonna be like doing as well as you are. But it does suck because Hori really has earned himself a break, and he shouldn't be embarrassed to fucking like take it.
And he
because,
did
like,
take a quickie.
Yeah,
He did
like,
he did 3 or 4 weeks a little while back, but it wasn't enough.
He is probably comparing himself to Eiichiro Oda, where it's
I
like,
mean,
you know,
Oda's
I know,
his hero.
Yeah, Oda is his fucking hero, where it's like, Oda is currently 48 years old. The man has been doing One Piece since 1990.
Since he was 19.
7? Yeah,
he did a
like
couple
since
one-shots and
1997.
immediately then plugged One Piece, and he's never stopped since.
Exactly. So the fact of the matter is, like, he's probably like, I am 25 years old. I'm not gonna kill myself if I like keep on going or anything like that. But it's like, dude, clearly you are not built like Goda is. Just take the fucking break. You have sold 300 something.
You can't even say
different
built
chapters.
like Goda. Like we've definitely had this discussion before, where to be a mangaka, you definitely have to be built a certain way. In a popularized magazine like Jump, you definitely have to be built a certain way. In the way that Ruri Dragon's mangaka clearly is not, despite how much it's fucking beloved, even for just
I would say,
5 chapters.
And it's also one of those things where we also have to admit, Japan is very proud of their work culture.
But that's what I want to get to, is the fact that, remember, I have no doubts that Oda has way more assistance in resources than anyone else on that magazine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I can definitely see that.
You could tell that Oda is in a spot of privilege on that magazine. And like he has a higher budget because One Piece brings the fucking bank, and has been doing so for the better part of 3 decades now.
I'm not sure. Like, I don't know if there was like a.
I
guess it depends on like what their work.
In the grand scheme of things.
Oh yeah, but it's not like he has like 10 other artists.
One Piece is a foundation to Jump. My Hero Academia, at the end of the day, as popular as it was, and will be in the future, is still a blink in the eye in terms of Jump's overall history.
Mm-hmm.
So Hori probably shoulders a lot more than the average mangaka does, especially more than Oda does. So you could aspire to Oda, but Oda is a little bit more.
I was gonna say you could also argue that, like, I mean, based on the quality of work, for all we know, Hori might just have as many, because like he's also bringing in the bank and everything.
It's agreed. Like
maybe it's the style.
I would say that Hori has more resources, not as many resources as Oda, but definitely has more resources than, let's say, the mangaka behind Fabricant 100 right now. These young guys like Tizen 5, who are fucking going to be the future. And they'll earn more trust from the magazine and get more resources in the future.
I want to know what is going on in Fabricant.
We need to start.
What is going on in Fabricant 100 right now?
Fabricant 100, that the theater arc ended, and we start to see a little bit of dubiousness within, their version of the Demon Slayer Corps, where they were banking. They sent Ashibi on that mission, the main character on that mission, to teach him a lesson about how fucking cutthroat and unfair things are going to be. Banking on the fact that innocents were going to die. This group weighs the life of the many over the few.
Ooh, that's cool.
That's how they do things. They're willing to make sacrifices if it saves the maximum amount of lives. And right now what's going on is that they're starting to, again, I briefly joked about this, and I want to joke about it again, the fact that Japan's uncomfortable fascination with eugenics, Fabricant 100 plays with it in such a fun way. The main character, there's a reason why his family is such a interest to Fabricants. It's the fact that this family is borderline immortal, apparently. They heal faster than normal, they stay young longer, they've got very good genetics, and that makes them a target. And again, this very quiet power struggle between him and the Fabricant number 100. Quietly, you think one has the upper hand, like has more to barter with in their relationship. And every chapter, we get a new little wrinkle in their relationship quietly. And I love it. And so basically right now, the Fabricant, again, it's very Monster of the Weeks. And the one that they're encountering right now happens to be one who at the very least seems to have orchestrated the attack on his family. It's very interesting. I really like this story. It's really fun.
That's very cool. I like that a lot, but that sounds potentially worrying. That is either I am trying to get the intrigue in this story out now, or that is like, ooh, I may have been given a time limit on like how long this has already.
That's all young mangaka. They all know they have 18 chapters to make it or fake it.
Yeah, so this guy needs to be some kind of like recurring villain.
Maybe, or there'll be another Monster of the Week. Again, there's 100 of them. There's 100 of them. We've only seen like 5
chapters behind. I am 5 chapters behind, I think,
you
on
should
Fabricant 100.
actively
So
read Fabricant 100.
I will jump on that.
It's quite charming. It's rough, but that's its charm. You're witnessing a very young mangaka who is going to be great someday. If he doesn't stay on Fabricant 100 long enough to achieve that greatness, it will happen somewhere else.
I'm still waiting for the author of Golem Hearts to come back.
Yeah, I would love for him to return. I just don't want Dororo. I just don't want that. Because that was fucking shit. But I believe in that mangaka. I can't wait to see what he does next. I agree. I think greatness also awaits him as well. Gan Usuka was his name?
It's... what is it? Golem Hearts.
We should put some respect on his name.
We should. It's Usuka.
Usuka.
Yeah, you're right. Gen Usuka. Yeah. Which, goddamn, I would love it if he just came back. Like, you've said, like, what if he came back on...
I will fucking champion whatever he sends out next. As long as it isn't Dororon, alright? As long as it's not that, I will be like, yo, everyone, you gotta read this shit. Even if it's shit, I just want him to do something different.
I mean, he even tried making a sports manga. He made that fucking Full Drive ping pong manga a while ago. Which it was actually the last thing that he made after, like, before... Dororon.
Okay, if the audience hasn't noticed yet, though, Steena had to, like, stealthily, like, jump out of the train.
She did.
She had a day job, work emergency.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a pretty good, like, that's a pretty good indicator that we also need to go.
Yeah, no, I agree. We are well over the hour.
Yeah, everyone, please wish Horikoshi a swift recovery. He really deserves it. And read Fabricant 100. Those are your, that's the moral of today's episode. Is that you should be supporting Fabricant 100 because I do not trust anything replacing My Hero Academia when that time comes.
Please, for the love of God, watch more stuff or something because, like, those fucking Crunchyroll Awards need to diversify a little bit because, my God, I get it.
Diversification was there. It was the fall season.
It's a tough it's a tough position because, like, they just MAPPA decided to fucking put out Attack on Titan in multiple parts.
Now it's gonna be the next year.
Yeah, no, it just kind of sucks. Anyway, there's the fucking train. Adios all.
Yeah, everyone take care. We'll see you next week.
Ta-ta.
Mind the gap as you exit our podcast safely. Rebuild of JoyCast is hosted by Ivan LeRoy and Valentine Stokes. LeRoy's written and directed works can be found on the JoyRide Entertainment YouTube channel and the soon-to-be-released original web manga, Paramedic. Val's dulcet tones can be heard in many of your favorite anime and web series, such as Ruby, Death Battle, Tribe 9, Lackadaisy Cats, and more. This episode was edited by Steena Carey, with YouTube version edited by Cody Rock. Music provided by Lofi Geek. Intro and outro narration by Steena Carey. Outro music composed by Michael Pejovich. Logo and visuals designed by Ivan LeRoy. Rebuild of Joycast is produced by JoyRide Entertainment and Rock Voice Productions LLC, and made possible thanks to Patreon donations from generous listeners like you. This month's highest-tiered Patreon producers are Mr. Host, Gooner Bear, Mary Bowtie, Hope D. Cruz, and Greg Hughes. If you would like your name shouted out at the end of each podcast, an invite to our private Discord to interact with fans, cast and crew, or early access to all of our content, be sure to check out JoyRide Entertainment's Patreon. Links provided in the description. Thank you for keeping JoyRide's engine burning.